Is it gonna give a signal?
Well, hello, boys and girls. It's when we feel like 8 o'clock, and I'm here, Mr. Capper Comparisons.
How you doing?
Yeah, we've been talking about this for a bit, doing something like this now. Just do a little back check. First of all, um, Ranj has got a great channel over there. He's still doing picks. He's doing soccer picks. What leagues are you doing there?
Yep. We still have soccer over in Nicaraguan Premier League and the Belarus Premier League are both playing soccer's. Nicaragua's playing no fans. Belarus is actually having fans at their games. They just screen them before they come in. Take their temperature and see if they have a cold and see if they're shown. But Belarus, they're kind of crazy with the president. He says drink vodka and the coronavirus will go away. So they're pretty loose on the fear of the coronavirus. So they're still playing soccer, and I love it because it gives me something to handicap and live sports. Nicaraguan, you can watch the games live. If you miss live sports, you can tune into Nicaraguan soccer. You get pick a favorite team, follow along. It's still going. They have 4 games left of the season. So jump on now while you still can. There's games coming Wednesday, which I will if you come to Capper Comparison Picks. I'll be handicapping the games on Wednesday.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, by the way, if you don't know, I'm Pearl of Wisdom. Everybody knows, Rob. The whole
everybody knows you.
Everybody knows that. If you haven't been watching up until now, maybe you've had the corona or something. I don't know. But anyways, I got to watch him because I just love it. I love the way Ranj does his channel. He lets his daughter in there and do little pictures while he's doing it. The first time I saw it, I just thought it was the greatest thing. And then I find out afterwards, quite a bit later, that he was actually a subscriber to Patreon that Brian and I do for BPAL Picks and I thought, no, that was so cool too. So anyways, I always wanted to do this with him. And so we got to I know he's a big Rangers fan, and I've been doing this series on, since we have the time, we're social distancing. I figure I might as well do. I wasn't a capper for most of the time I've been doing these videos. I was more just the talking about hockey guy. So I'm going back to that and kind of talking about like what teams are going to be doing in the off season after the playoffs and stuff like that for each team. So we thought we'd go into the New York Rangers, since Ranj is a big Rangers fan, and roll with that. So let's probably get into that because we don't want to be going an hour like I do on some of my videos. So first of all, I'd like to say, so fortunate for you to be a Rangers fan. I mean, this team is set up to be spectacular for a long while. I guess where I'd like to start with is, what were your feelings about the signing of Chris Kreider?
Oh, I think it's a great signing. I think they have a great deal on him. What'd you say? It's 4 or something, and then it increases to $6 million after.
Six and a half.
Till 2027 though, and he's a solid player.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to be about 35, 36 at the end of that deal.
24 goals and 63 games played. That's worth it.
Yeah, and he's a good, solid. Everybody loves him, I guess. He's been a good soldier for them for a long time. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of talk about them trading him and stuff, but I think they were just angling to try to get the dollar value down because, from everything I read, anyways, he was just very loved in that room, and he's a good physical player.
I remember that time, and at that time, you're like, if the Rangers win, it was like right before the trade deadline. If the Rangers win, they're gonna keep Kreider. And what happened? They went on that streak of like 4 straight victories or something. During that time.
I think they kind of were on the fence about it. And then once they realized, had a really solid idea where their team was. And we'll go into the next guy we were already talking about before we started the video. But I think one of the well, what I was saying was I think this team is going to rally to get behind Chris Kreider.
That's right. That's
Right?
what you said.
Yeah, and the guy that really did that is that really led that charge, from what I could tell, was Mika Zibanejad. The last 10 or 15 games before the season ended, that guy was just playing out of his head, man.
Underrated. You know, like I said before when we were talking earlier, he's got more goals than Panarin in less games, and he's getting paid half the amount. But hey,
Yeah.
he's good till 2022.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, they got a beautiful contract there for him. My gosh, for Z. Now, like I was saying, we'll get into Artem Panarin now. I mean, can't really put him down. He's on a 100-point pace. It's just that Mika has. I think they've just fed off each other. Mika's become the player he's always thought he would. By the way, I love Quinn as a coach too. I think he's did a really good job with those young guys.
Yeah.
So we'll go. That's three of the players that we're doing on the lineup here. The what I noticed about the Rangers, the issue that they have is that they bought out Shattenkirk 2 years ago, and he's going to demand. They're going to have to pay him $7 million this year against the cap, and they've got to sign Ryan Strome. Jesper Fost. What other ones do we have here? Brendan Lemieux and Anthony D'Angelo. Three of them are restricted free agents.
Greg McKegg too. Greg McKegg is unrestricted.
Yeah. I think you can get McKegg at around the same price. I think he's going to be
$750,000, so he'd probably be $1 million.
Maybe get a little more, yeah. Maybe get a little more. McKegg is one of those guys that have just worked his balls off to stay in the league. Like, he keeps on getting sent down and keeps on getting brought up. He was in Carolina before this, and the guy just apparently would just refuse. Like, he just one hell of a hard worker. So having all these young guys, it's good to have a guy like that, right?
20 minutes. Okay. Anthony D'Angelo, he's also restricted free agent 2020.
That's the one that's going to be tough, because I think his agent's going to be asking for a lot of money. They were playing him top 2 minutes, and I think really I think that Gorton would love to sign him long term, but with this, like I said, the Shattenkirk buyout problem. It's not $7 million. It's $6 million. So that's really going to be. They're going to have to go to them and say, "We'd love to give you a long term, but we just don't have the cap space for the short term." I have a feeling they're going to give him maybe even a 1 or 2 year contract. Anthony D'Angelo at $3 or $4 million if he's willing to take that, which would be great if they could do that. And then I also have a feeling, because we were also talking about the expansion draft, right?
Yeah, the Seattle team.
And we got to take that into consideration. Now, who would you rather have for your team, Buchnevich or Ryan Strome?
Strome, definitely. I mean, I'm a fan. I think he's got better stats. Let's see, 70 games, 18 goals, and Buchnevich, 68 games, 16 goals. So their stats are close.
Yeah.
But what are they getting paid? 3.2 for Buchnevich and Strome 3.1. Their stats and pay wise, they're right there, even Steven.
Ryan is what? How many points did you say Ryan got in how many games?
70 games, 18 goals.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then Buchnevich 68 and 16.
Yeah. They play different. Ryan's more a center though, and centers are a little more valuable. And I agree. I like Ryan Strome better as well. From what I've watched them play, I think he adds more to the team, but he's a restricted free agent. And I think he might be looking for something like, he's definitely going to be looking for significant raise. I have a feeling they're going to have to trade him off. Either or that, or trade Vichnevich and fill in that spot with some of their younger guys.
Well, I said like the Brendan Lemieux, he's a restricted free agent 2020 also, but so that's another wing,
Yeah,
another forward.
I think they can get Brendan for $1.5 million. So that's not bad because he's still.
They got to make a move on that then.
Yeah, I would sign Brendan. Maybe. It's so tough. They got so many options. This team is so deep. You got Brett Howden who can play center. Philip Heidel will be likely playing center. So you could trade Ryan Strome and put Philip Heidel up there. I think that's what they're likely going to do. As much as I like Ryan Strome better, I like Philip Heidel as their second line center better in the long term, better than Ryan Strome. So, and if they sign him, more than likely they're going to have to protect him for the expansion draft, and they may not. I don't think they're going to be able to do that. So they'll probably lose him for nothing. So I have a feeling Ryan Strome is going to be traded off.
That expansion mock draft I looked at, Jesper Fast was the one going to Seattle. But, I mean, who knows?
He's a UFA, though. Are they going to even sign him this year? Just, they could. I don't know. They've got all these young players to fill in the gaps. They've got that Julian Gauthier kid they got from Carolina.
Yeah.
Who did they trade to Carolina? Oh, Brady Shea, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so they've got him to play up there. They've got so many players that can play up in those positions that are cheap right now. I don't think they have to take
solid defense. I'm telling you, the Rangers are a solid team. Everywhere you look, goalies, defense, forwards, they're stacked. I'm glad to be a Rangers fan.
Well, you know how they have the Executive of the Year award, and there's a lot of good candidates. But personally, I think Gorton should get it. I think he's done an absolutely fantastic job with this team. They are set up better than any team out there for a long-term success rate coming along the expansion draft and everything. Like they're set perfect, this team. Absolutely perfect. I think they're going to be unbelievable. You wait till after next year when they don't have that $9 million, they can go out and grab another scorer or a top four defenseman. Igor Shesterkin to me looks like one of the probably the best European goaltender I've seen since Hasek.
He's great.
Since Hasek, yeah. He's
like we were speaking earlier, though, Georgiev, he's no slouch.
No,
he's a restricted free agent 2020, though. I don't know if what's gonna happen with him. I know they're stuck with Henrik Lundqvist. They're stuck with him, but Georgiev, you told me they can keep one. They can protect one, right?
I don't see if you're a rookie and you play less than 2 years or only 2 years, you don't have to protect that player. So Shesterkin won't have to be protected. So they can protect Georgiev and put Lundqvist out there. Like no expansion team can take Lundqvist. The fuck, right? But the problem is, actually, I don't think they can do that because he's got a no movement clause. He would have to agree to it. If you can get him to agree to it, and then you just make damn good sure the team doesn't take him. You might even have to give up a draft pick to make sure that they don't take Lundqvist. And then you've got Georgiev and Shesterkin as your goaltenders on top of that lineup. Adam Fox, you could make a really good case that Adam Fox should get Rookie of the Year or Rookie of the Year.
Defensive Player of the Year.
Well, Rookie of the Year, like they're talking about Cale Makar or in Vancouver Hughes. But Adam Fox has almost put up the same amount of points, and he's played more important minutes than the both of them. His possession stats and everything have actually are a little bit better than both of them. I don't think he's going to get it, but you can make a really good case that he should get it. And he's only 22 years old now.
Yeah.
And they didn't even give up a draft pick for him. They signed him out of college, man. Like, and Ryan Lindgren too.
He's young too.
Anthony D'Angelo, they got for Stepan. Do you remember Stepan?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he's like a 1-2 defenseman. This lineup is in freaking insane. Plus Jacob Trouba. Wow.
Yeah.
What a great lineup. Anyways, so basically what I'm saying about the New York Rangers is they got so many options. There's nothing to really be concerned about. And
I'm optimistic.
You should. I see cups, at least one cup here. I look at Colorado or Boston. Boston's getting old. Like if you look in the East, Washington's getting old. Ovechkin, yeah, Backstrom, stuff like that. They're going to lose Holtby this year. Toronto will probably never have a defense because they're all capped.
Philadelphia in the East. They're tough.
Philadelphia is going to be the team. Philadelphia is going to be the team for the next little while.
We got Tampa Bay, too.
Oh, yeah, Tampa. Tampa, too, yeah.
They're no joke.
Tampa, Philadelphia, Rangers.
Pittsburgh and Boston, they're always contenders. You know,
they always are. But
they always will be.
They're getting so old, and they don't have the depth in their line. Like, they're not going to be I don't think they're going to be contenders in the next couple of years. Where the Rangers, they're set up to be contenders for the next decade, I would say. As long as they're smart with their contracts they put out.
The Canes, they compete.
If the Canes could get goaltenders,
Sebastian Aho, he's fantastic. He's one of my favorite players.
The Canes are my team in the East.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I love talking about the Canes when they made that Brady Shea trade. And the Brady Shea, I don't know what happened to him. There's something going. Like, that was a really nice move because he didn't look good this year. I don't know what was going on with that guy. He didn't look the best for sure. Out of all the guys that they could have traded, he was the one that they got a good return. That Julien Gauthier guy that they got back in return,
mm-hmm.
He's exactly what they need. Like a good power forward that can score 20 to 25 goals. He just doesn't make a mistake. He doesn't.
He's huge. He's 6'4".
He's a big boy.
He's the tallest person on the team at 6'4".
And he's got a killer shot. I was really surprised that Carolina gave him up in that trade. Actually, I was really
6'4", 227. He outweighs everybody else by 20 pounds too.
He's a big boy.
Yeah, big boy.
And and Brandon Lemieux, when they got him in that trade for where they gave up, that was a tough one. Giving up Pionk was tough. But getting Trouba and Brandon Lemieux, I don't know. I don't think he gets enough credit for how good of a player he is. Do you like Brandon?
Yeah, I like Brandon Lemieux. Mm-hmm.
He puts up decent points when they put him higher up in the lineup. He's got more skill than he gets credit for.
I take him in. He's relatively cheap in fantasy and DraftKings. You know, they price all the players. You got to build a team with whoever's throughout the league, players throughout. Then he's right in he's lower end cost, and he's worth the money. That's how I judge the players, like how much they're charged on. Like Panarin, you're paying over $10,000. You get $50,000 to work with your salary. Panarin costs over 10 by himself. So if you want him, you got to pay a fifth of your salary to one player, which it's tough. Whereas in if you take Brendan Lemieux at 4,600, you know what I'm saying? I missed that too. I missed the whole DraftKings making a lineup out of all. It's fun. It's just fun.
You make a lineup every day on that?
When during hockey season, I did it'll tell you who's going to be in goal, like perspective, like likely in goal. Because when you're picking your goalie, it'll put all the goalies up, and then depending on the games, it'll have like a green or yellow or red, and confirmed is green, confirmed in goal. So, and though that goalie is the first player you want to pick, because you pick a goalie that's not playing, then you just screwed your whole lineup. You know what I mean? So yeah, I used to during Capper comparison days, I would wake up, I would make a hockey lineup in DraftKings that would determine which way I'm swaying with the games too. And of course, being a Rangers fan, my line was filled with Rangers all the time. But yeah, it was fun. And Brendan Lemieux, I picked him a lot because he was worth the money. He's cheap. He was cheap comparatively.
Yeah, and he has underrated offense that I don't know. People just don't give him credit for his offense because he's such an annoying freaking like fourth line type attitude player. And I love those guys, so that's probably why I like him too. I used to play like that when I played, so I appreciate it. Those guys are tougher than shit because they take so much shit and abuse, right? Guys like Pat Maroon.
Everyone in Canada is raised playing hockey, right? That's like in gym class, you play hockey. Is that how it goes?
Yeah, well, floor hockey, yeah, but in some cities they have actual rinks for high school teams and stuff like that. Yeah, but definitely.
We have rinks around here for some of our high school. The high school I went to, they didn't offer hockey, but
it's a religion. It's like a religion. It's like you guys with baseball.
I know.
Same
in
thing.
South America and soccer.
Yeah,
exactly. I know.
It's basically the same. So, anyways, I guess what this was mainly about is what we think would happen. I think we've come to the agreement that Brian Strome will probably have to go because we don't want to lose him for nothing. Too bad because he's a good kid. I like him a lot. I think we've come to the conclusion that Anthony DeAngelo will probably have to get a bridge contract, something like 4.5, hopefully, maybe 3.5, 3.5, something like that. Maybe for a year or two, and then give him a big contract after.
What's their room? They have like $7 million, you said, to play with. The Rangers.
Yeah, they do. They have about $7 million. Yeah, and but if you didn't sign Ryan Strome, then you could give and you didn't get Jesper Fast. You could actually sign up DeAngelo for long term, and honestly, that's what I would do. I think Faust is replaceable, and Ryan Strome is replaceable. So I would like to get I'd like to get DeAngelo signed up like 6.5 for like 7 years right away, because that's going to look like a really nice contract. In the middle of that contract, him being a 1-2 defenseman.
Yeah, I think that would be their best move too. Because everybody else is good till 2021, except for, I mean, like you said, they can replace Strome fast.
Yeah. And they could give Lemieux $1.5 million or $1.75 or whatever. And he can fill a spot there. Gauthier can move up in the lineup. So many guys can move up in the lineup. Anyways, you guys, such an embarrassment.
Capo Caco, remember?
Capo Caco. He should be playing higher in the lineup. Yeah.
He's not even old enough to drink. He's only 19.
It's only 19
these
years
stats.
old. Yeah. He's only 19. They thought maybe he might be a little better this year, but you're 19 years old. I thought he did great for a 19-year-old. I think he's fantastic, and he'll play higher up in the lineup. So, anyways, an embarrassment of riches. You should be happier than shit to be a Rangers fan. Firstly, I guess that's our full 42 here. I hope you enjoyed this fine programming. We're going to try to do more of that stuff. And
I think we should put together a Seattle expansion discussion, the expansion team. Bring in Best Bet Ed, or invite John from Ricketts if he wants to. Yeah. Ask B if he wants to jump in on it. Why not?
Best Bet Ed,
bringing the whole Capper community together.
That's right. And that's what we're doing here. We're building a community. We might have our own channels and all that stuff like that, but we have a fun just learning from each other and hanging out. And I think for the heck of it, since you're the only one that I know that does this, we should say bye to everybody and head on out doing the Perlo dance.
Okay. Where's Nora? Nora, come over and dance with me.
Perlo dance.
Ready? Perlo dance. We haven't done it in a while. Yay!
See you later, everybody. Go
Bye.
check out his channel there, Copper's Comparison.
Yep.
Have a great one. Lots of love
Thanks.
to you.
Bye.
All
Take
right.
care.
There we go.
You're recording again.